That's too soft now. That's not for me. Put your hands together for Jesus. Great, great. You may have your wonderful seats. So now I hope we've left the ground level. Before we were on ground zero. Now we are cruising. We've started. But we've not yet set cruise control because we are still rising. We are still rising. All right? Today is going to be an amazing day. I want you to prepare yourself for the amazing experience that you're going to have here today. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is OJ Femi Meore. They call me the game master because I like to play games, not with people's hearts, but the other type of games that everybody plays. So I'm going to give you one question that I want you to brood over while the next item is coming up. The question is this. We have plenty of people here. If plenty of people go left, and plenty of people now go right, and plenty of people go back, and plenty of people go front, how many people will be left here? Slowly, think about this. Think about this a bit more. There are plenty of people here. If plenty of people go this way, oh boy. That's the word. You see, my words are reverbing in the room. So think about it. Jot things down. So you can do what? Jot things down so that you can take things out. So if plenty people go here, and plenty people go there, plenty people go front, and plenty people go back, how many people will be left here? Hold your thoughts. I will come back and ask. The best answer will win. A handshake from the convener. I can set my convener up, even if I tell him that the best answer is going to get 10 million naira. Now he will give you. So set your answer and think about it. But again, to charge us up and tell us about this event for the day, I would like to make welcome the convener of the Roundtable Lekki, the zonal coordinator of CGM VI Zone. Please put your hands together for Reverend Chris Ubamadu.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so excited to have you here this morning. I'd like to join my brother to welcome you to the Roundtable Lekki 2023. Can you please put your hands together for yourselves? Those hands are to the applause is it's like you're not as excited as I am. Okay, I know why you are not excited yet. You don't know the things that I know about today. One of the things I know about today is that someone is going to be set up for the future. Someone is going to be set up for a line of income that you never knew was possible. Someone's career in entertainment is going to kick off after today. Someone's business is going to change after today. Someone is going to get a new job after today. Amen. Can you put your hands together for that now? You were getting me. I'd like to welcome all of us. I'm excited that some of our speakers are here already. Our senior ministers in church are also here. And most importantly, you are here. And it's my honor to welcome you again to this annual conference called the Roundtable Lekki. Many times since we started hosting this program, there are questions that come to me every year. The questions don't change. They're specific. Same questions all the time. And the number one question that comes every time we host this event or we're preparing to host this event is the question of why. Why this? In answering that this morning, I just want to give you a few statistics. The unemployment rate in Nigeria today, well, let me start from the December 2022, as published by KPMG, increased to 37.7%. Then in 2023, is projected to end at 41% by the same KPMG, and also published in their Global Economic Outlook for half year one. That is from January to June. So they said the unemployment for this year will be at will close at 41%, actually 40.5%, and that's half year by June. Now, if you look critically at that figure, you will find out that they arrived at that figure because from their own statistics and their surveys, 4.5 million people join the labor market every year in Nigeria. So if you add the 4.5 of last year to the figure of last year, then you will know where we are likely to be at the end of the year. And then when you drill deeper into it, as at December last year, the youth unemployment in Nigeria was 53.4%. Now I'm talking about unemployment. I have not talked about underemployment, because that figure is another one. When you talk about unemployment in an economy, you are talking about the number of people that have what it takes to work but do not have work to do, who are not gainfully employed. And then when you add underemployment, you are adding the people who are doing something but not really what they want to do, not what really sustains them. They're just there doing something, earning a little money here and there. And you and I know that majority of people who work in Nigeria fall under that category. This is a country where you see graduates earning 20,000 naira, even far below the minimum wage. At the back of that is a very scary inflation rate. There's what is called, inflation is measured in different parameters. There's what is called the Consumer Price Index, which the National Bureau of Statistics quoted to have risen from 21.9% in February to 22.04% in March 2023. That means that if you were to compare a price of a good this time last year and today, the price would have moved by about 22%. Critical under that is what we call the food inflation, the price of food. So if you don't buy other things, you must buy food. And the price of food, or rather food inflation, for the same period, March 2023, from National Bureau of Statistics, says it is 24.45%. I'm giving you why the round table Lekki. Now, all these index tell us about how terrible the situation of things are in Nigeria. It tells us the reason for the level of despondency, tells us the reason we have so many vices, tells us the reason there is high rate of poverty in Nigeria. In fact, let me give you a few more of the implications of this kind of unemployment. Because when people cannot work to earn a living, it means that they are not able to provide food for themselves and their families. It means that they will not be able to train their children, educate them. It also means that they won't have access to health care. As a matter of fact, I say this all the time to my friends who are in the ministry, that most of the reasons you have a lot of churches, one of the reasons you have a lot of churches in Nigeria today is because of the level of our economy. Because most of the things that we ask God to do for us are things that are supposed to be there naturally. Let me give you some of the implications of high unemployment. Number one is the poverty rate. I'm sure that every one of us were aware of the figures released by National Bureau of Statistics sometime last year that told us that 133 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. As a matter of fact, the WHO, World Health Organization, and the World Bank had predicted that Nigeria's poverty rate would be 95% in 2022. That was one thing that we surpassed projection. Instead of 95, we actually have 133 million multidimensionally poor people in Nigeria. I'll give you a few more implications. Nigeria today has over 20 million children that are out of school. It has overtaken India and some other countries like Pakistan and all that. And these are figures as of last September from UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. We all know them. Following from this level of unemployment and poverty is some direct impacts like infant mortality rates. In Nigeria today, infant mortality rate is 55 and is measured per 1,000 births. So that means if we record 1,000 births in Nigeria today, 55 of those babies would die because of our poor health status. What about their mothers? The maternal mortality rate, MMR, in Nigeria as at today is 814 per 100,000. 814 women lose their life at the point of giving birth in Nigeria. 814 out of 100,000. Now the implication of unemployment and poverty continues to grow. There are many other things. Of course, today we are grappling with continuous harassment from kidnappers, ransom takers, farmer header clashes, and all of them. All of these things are direct imports, direct things that flow directly from the unemployment level that we have in Nigeria. Even when you talk about the violence that we see, the very terrible things that happen across the country, all of them flow from unemployment. We just came out from an election cycle, or we are still in it right now because the cases are still in court. Most of the people that are used to perpetrate those evils during election are unemployed people. As a matter of fact, the higher the unemployment, the higher the illiteracy level, and of course also the higher the religious intolerance, because people who are not educated are not able to manage the differences they have with another person. How does this affect all of us? As you well know, the Roundtable Lekki is powered by Church of God Mission. As a socially responsible organization, we feel that we have a role to play in adding value to society. Yes, people may argue that our job as a church is to prepare people for heaven. But how wonderful would heaven be for someone who is earthly useless? And so, since we don't send people to heaven the moment we get them saved, we took up the responsibility to empower them that while they are on earth, they can live a more meaningful life. And this we do by creating a platform like the Roundtable Lekki, which allows people to network, which allows us to discuss businesses, which allows us to open up opportunities for people to see where they can invest, where they can be a part of, so they can increase their ability to earn, thereby pulling them out of that 133 million multi-dimensional poor people in Nigeria. So the Roundtable Lekki, what it does every year is that we select a sector in the economy. When we select a sector, we bring practitioners, we bring professionals, we bring players in that sector, we bring enthusiasts in that sector, people who know about it, people who are doing business in that sector, to help open it up. We dimension it, we open it up so that everyone who is participating can see the business potentials that exist in that sector. And for several years, for the last 2 years, we had focused on the real estate, and this year we said let's go into this very untapped but huge industry in Nigeria called the entertainment industry. And so this year, the Roundtable Lekki is focused on the entertainment industry. And our goal is to look at the Nigerian entertainment industry, the opportunities and trends. Opportunities for business, opportunities for investment, opportunities for employment, opportunities for generating income, opportunities for engaging people. Our goal at the end of the day is that by whatever means we can, let us help to improve the quality of life in our society by reducing the level of unemployment and, of course, the level of poverty. And so today, at the Roundtable Lekki, you are going to be seeing people who are players in the entertainment industry. I tell people all the time that the industry is so big. The MC was trying to help us hazard a guess on the size of the industry. And I just took, he gave a figure, but I just went to Google, and I'm on a page of this Business Day. It's on Google, and I'll read exactly what what they said here. They said the video revenue increased by 22.8% in 2021 after soaring in 2020, reaching $79.1 billion. Now, the video segment of the Nigerian entertainment industry in 2020 generated 79.1 billion USD. That's not small business, ladies and gentlemen. And that report also further to say is that the rate of revenue growth will slow down through 2026 when its revenue is predicted to reach 114.1 billion. It is expected to increase at a compound annual rate of 7.6%. That's the industry that you and I are talking about. Because government is not playing heavily in it, many people are easy to neglect or despise it. But this is an industry that is capable of employing huge numbers of young people. Remember, I did tell us at the beginning that we have over 50% of our youth that are unemployed. The youth unemployment rate in Nigeria is about 50%. Actually, 53.4%. So you can imagine what will happen when we are able to dimension this industry as we want to do today. So that a lot of young people who do not have anything that they are doing, who are willing and to work, who want to do something to improve their lives, so they are out of that poverty net, can see what they can do. So that we are able to open up these opportunities for people to see and to understand and then to participate. So this is the reason for the Roundtable Lekki. This is the reason we are investing in it. This is the reason we have made it an annual event. So that by so doing, we can help to create a society that is more prosperous, that is more futuristic oriented, that is more blossoming, that can accommodate people and help them live better lives. There is nothing I think is more important for us to be involved in than to help people to live lives that are better, fuller, and richer. And so today, I want to welcome you again to this platform. I want to welcome you to the Roundtable Lekki. I want to welcome you to the opportunities that come. I want to also challenge you to open your mind. You may have come because you want to network with one person, but expand your options, expand your expectations. You may do more than that. You may find businesses that you will do because of your interaction at this conference this morning. Once again, I want to welcome all of you. I want to ask you to relax, open your mind and learn, because at the end of this day, you're going to find something that will lift your life and will give you that kind of life that you have always wanted to live. And so on behalf of the organizers, I'd like to welcome you all, welcome our facilitators who are here already, and we look forward to a very interactive and very life-enriching conference this year. Once again, welcome.
Round of applause once again. So that's immediately you said that number that you said. I had checked and I went to a report. I saw 9 billion. You said 70 something. I had to go and check that business day report. It's like me too. I need to expand my tentacles in this industry. So I might not be hosting at some point in this event. Please, if you don't see me on stage again, please just know that I've taken my biro, my paper. I'm collecting phone numbers. I'm starting my own industry in the industry right now. Please take my number, and I'm charging $1 million. So how much did you say again? The industry is $71 billion. Okay. I'm charging $1 million. If you believe it, you can do it. So now I believe it and I'm going to do it. Amen. Amen. All of you that said amen, you are going to patronize me. Amen. The women reduce. Don't worry, I won't I'll reduce it small. $950 is my charge. All right, so we're going to move in. Again, I will remind you, you don't have to listen and just, get lost in thought. Make sure you put your questions down, because you won't have a chance to ask the speaker immediately after he speaks. So make sure you take your questions down, because once the panel session comes up, you will have a chance to go ahead with those questions. First of all, to start us off, we will have a session on the business of music. The business of music. Please pay rapt attention. I think a lot of us are interested in this sector, and you can see what music is doing worldwide, from Afrobeats to every other part of the Nigerian music industry. So to speak on the business of music, we are going to have the MD CEO of Arc Music Entertainment, Dr. Inu Momodu.
Sound check. Good day, everyone. Please help me shake somebody and say, welcome to the Roundtable Lekki. Can you turn to somebody else and say, welcome? That welcome is not how you welcome people to wealth. Come on, shake somebody up and say, welcome to the Roundtable Lekki. Yes, I want to appreciate our convener, our zonal coordinator, Reverend Chris Ubamadu, for this initiative. I want to also appreciate every member of the organizing committee. I also want to acknowledge our special guests in the house. DJ Gosperella is in the building. Omoba Dejirawo, CEO of X2D TV, is in the building. Please, can we make welcome our special guests? And also welcome yourself and appreciate yourself for coming today. I'm popularly known as Dr. KBK. My name is Momodu Inu Noah. I will be talking about the business of music this morning. Now, the entertainment industry involves every one of us. The business of music involves every one of us. I'll tell you why. There's virtually nothing you can do today. No sector, no sphere. Even your lifestyle, even your pastime, your hobbies, even the time you relax at home, you are chilling with your family, that you will not need a form of entertainment. Am I right? While some of you are coming here, I guess you tune on the radio in your car, or you played a particular song on your phone or your car stereo, and that informs us how well the industry affects every one of us. Now, by creation, every one of us is a creative. If you look at Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. So by first introduction, God is a creator. By then, chapter 1, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 tells us that God made man in his own image and after his own likeness. That means God created you to be like him and also to function like him. So if God is a creator, that means you are also a creator. And he gave Adam the assignment to replenish the earth, to subdue, to dominate. And that's exactly what he has asked us to do as creatives. Now, talking about the business of music, sometimes when we talk about music business, people think it's different from what you know as the regular business. You know, every principle that is found in the business world is what operates in the music business environment. The difference is that you are bringing talent, you are bringing skill, and you are bringing business principles into place to be able to make it work. Am I right? Now, music business simply means the acquiring, producing, packaging, or compiling of audio or video programming and of diverse content, which is primarily music or music related, and the marketing and sales of such programming by the method of distribution. What that means is that, for example, you pick a performing art, maybe a singer, a poet, a comedian, or anybody that stands on the stage to perform, to entertain. You pick that person. It takes a lot of process. It takes a lot of things that is done behind the scene to make that person a star. Now, the music industry is structured in a way where you have basically 4 pillars that holds the structure of the entertainment industry. You have number 1, management. Number 2, production. Number 3, promotions. Number 4, marketing. So look at that individual, that performing art, maybe a singer. We're talking about the music business. That singer needs to be developed. Management takes care of the discovery, talent development, and branding of that act. So in that sphere, in that structure, a lot of us here, you discover that you have a flair for you. It's easy for you to spot a talent. You can easily identify a gift in the room. You can do that with your kids, with your neighbors, or you do that even with people that you relate with. You easily can tell that this person has the potential to do better with your gift. That falls under management. And it actually falls under a unit in management which is called A&R, Artist and Repertoire. So for you to be able to develop a gift, indirectly I'm also telling you the diverse opportunities that are available in the music business industry. So under management, you need to discover that artist, and you can do that formally or informally. Some talents can be discovered here today, or you can organize a formal talent hunt or talent search. Now you have people that are gifted as talent scouts, which can go into campuses, they go to churches, they meet people on the street, and they can easily tell that this is a gift. From that stage of discovery, you take them through a stage of management, of development, where you brand the artist, the profile. Even your stage name, a lot of artists are not successful because of the name they picked. Your name speaks of your identity and your purpose and your assignment. There are some names you hear, and that name is not sellable. So your stage name is key. Your management team, they sit down with you to be able to decide the kind of name that will aid your brand. Your stage name is there. Then they design the profile over time. Most of the times now, with the aid of social media, a lot of artists have been discovered via the social media sphere. What you think is that the day the record label posted the video, that was when they discovered them? No. The reason why those videos were viral, you saw one boy singing on the street or one lady hawking with a tray on the streets. That's not when he or she was discovered. They maybe have discovered like 2-3 years back. The record label actually pushes those contents for you to naturally buy into the emotion that an underdog was discovered. That is part of the process of developing the artist and selling a brand, and also building a fan base. Now all these processes takes place, and this is what you call the pre-production stage. Now under management, you have bookings. People are also involved in booking as booking agents, road managers. They can plan and organize. Like this event, people spend time to make sure that everything is put in place. It falls under management. You also have, under management, you have people that will set out the documentation, the legal matters, the itinerary, and the plans for the artists. Then let's come to the production, which is the next pillar. Production for a creative or for an artist under the music business sphere is not just making the music. It involves pre-production also, which has to do with songwriting, development. It has to do with choosing the title for the track, title for the albums, and the compilation of the whole studio production, mix, mastering, recording, and voicing. This takes time to also process. And you need a team of people. Now, under management, like I said, you have A&R, you have bookings, you have road management, and you can form labels under this. I'll come to that part of how you can how to start your own music independent label. Now, under production, the same thing. For a regular studio production, you need a producer or producers, as it may be. Then if the artist is a live performer, you need a band. Even if you're going to be doing studio programming, you will need backup singers and engineers. So you find there are opportunities that are available for employability in that sector. Then you go to the next sector. When, after discovering development of the artist, you begin to package the artist and produce the artist content, music and all that as it relates to the business of music. Of course, the next thing we talk about is the promotion. This is where publicity and advertisement comes in. You need to find out strategies on how to use the electronic or the mass media, electronic, social media, print media, or otherwise. You engage strategies. Now, this is why I mentioned how they put out content for you to feel that, oh, this person was discovered through this way. Most of the time, we have strategies that will sit down to plan how you can sell an artist. Now, the artist is the product. The artist is the talent, but it's also the product. That's why you see that there's so much emphasis placed on the artist himself. Or the artist will need to now learn how to organize proper strategies for marketing. You have to be in the face of the people. Now, one of the key principles of music promotion is repetition. There's no tautology when it comes to music promotion. The more you play it, there are some songs that you finally started singing along or bumping your head to that you never liked. You criticize those songs when you heard them the first. Am I right? But after a while, you just find out that there's something about this song that is catching my attention. It's because it has been constantly put in your face. Anywhere you turn to, you hear the song. Anywhere you turn to, you are seeing the artist's face. You are seeing the promotions everywhere. Over time, you have no choice than to buy in. And this thing is done with a lot of emotional involvement. That's why strategies have to play into this thing. Then you talk about marketing and distribution. Now, in those days, when I got involved in the music industry as a teenager, I got involved when we were still using cassettes and VHS. The principle has not changed, but the strategies keep evolving. Now, I'll tell you a story. When I was 17 years old, I got involved in the music business at 15. Then my first production was at 16. Then I started my record label, my company, Act Music International, at 17. When I was about to start that, I signed my first artist at 17. I went to my first mentor, my biological father. So I traveled from Benin City to Awuchi to have a sit down with him to get information and wisdom on how to go. My father happened to be the first person that brought music business to Edo North. I was born in Awuchi. My dad was the first person that brought music business. He started a record label even before I was born, before he met my mother as a young man. And he successfully was able to evolve music from the Edo North, and it went national. So I wanted to know what he did and how he did it. And my dad is a very fantastic storyteller. He doesn't answer your question directly. He will tell you a story. So he sat me down and said, he remember when he signed his first artist. He didn't have enough funds, so he went to Afribank and took a loan. He took a check. Then they will go to Onitsha to produce their artists. Then they will come to Lagos to mass produce the vinyl, no plates, turntable. They will come to Lagos to do the mass production. So he had gone to Onitsha, finished the production, traveled to Lagos. But he used his money. That check was still with him. Came to Lagos, mass produced the turntable plates, the vinyl, successfully, but he no longer had cash to make the jackets, the jacket, the covers. So he decided to sleep over that night in his uncle's place here in Lagos. And the uncle's wife happened to have a bar, outdoor bar, where they were selling pepper soup and drink. Then he noticed that our people, Esako people, they were coming to that bar. I noticed that the crowd was gathering. And there was a turntable player outside playing. So he now said to his uncle that this is my artist that I produce. I want to test and see the reaction of people. Because I saw the crowd gathering. I'm telling you this story for a reason. Then the uncle said, go ahead. My dad took one of those plates and started playing, and he started watching the crowds. Before you know it, he sold everything that night. No promotion, no jackets, nothing. He didn't need to go to Afribank the next morning to go and cash the loan, the check. He had money, went back and printed more, mass produced more and printed. That's the only story he told me. I came to Benin City. I left out, which I left him. I started my artist, I produced the artist, I did everything. Now, I talked about strategies and most of the time, you just connect the dots. So I start my artist down. I looked at the dates. August, my artist was also a member of the Chicago Mission, but another branch. We looked at the dates. Quick conversion that year, August. I said, okay, let's write a song and dedicate to Mama. We wrote a song dedicated to Mama. Strategies. We printed cassettes. We were able to raise money for like 200 cassettes. I did most of those jobs on credit. I didn't have a studio then. I went to a studio. I wrote a letter to one of my mentors. I want to use your studio to record. After the launch, I will pay. I got costume for the band. I did all of that. We went to Fete Arena that day. And we had more demand that we could supply. I used the same principle my dad taught me. I will not be able to break it down now. And without publicity, without promotion and everything, we sold everything. Women, because we sang a song, strategy, dedicated to Mama. And it was appealing emotionally to the women. That was the song we did. You just guess what happened. They were throwing money at us and there were no cases to supply. And my mom, a reverend, to Chicago Mission, left the altar and was helping us to sell cassettes. So what am I trying to say? What I've said now is, one, you need mentors. You need to be able to go to a source that will tell you what he or she has done that you can improve on. You need to be able to put your strategies in place, from pre-production to post-production to marketing and pushing the artists. Now this artist I signed, nobody knew him. He was just a member of a choir that I discovered that could lead praise and worship all night, they tire. And I saw that potential. And he wanted to, and one of the things we did, which is, now I learned this from two people. Now, Bob Nestamali speaks Patois, speaks the vernacular English, like we have our pidgin in Jamaica. But have you ever heard a song that Bob Nestamali sang in Patois? He sings in English. Think about it. So, this my artist, when he sings in church, he leads powerful Bini praise worship songs. Now, I wanted to produce an album. He came with English song. I said, hey, you, what people know you for? I know I'm saying this. Now, one of the struggles you may have in the music business is that you want to do what you like. It doesn't apply. You do what the people want. That's how you sell. That's what demarcates commercial music from feel-good music. You say this guy can sing, but they said nobody wants to buy, nobody wants to lead, nobody wants to give you a platform to perform. So I told my artists, we argued for a while. I said, see, your demography, you already have fan base. Women likes you a lot. Women in church, they like you a lot because of what you do and how you do it. That's what we're going to focus on. But we're going to create a fusion. So you don't sing the normal traditional Benin music, but you're going to sing in your language in a contemporary beat. So I sat down with my team. We produced the kind of music that is appealing to both the old and the young, but delivered in the Benin language. Are you follow what I'm saying? Now, these things apply. This is applied to how well you understand how to run the music business. Now, one of the key things that affects the world, that also determines the growth of the industry, is systems. Systems are designed to manage growth. Systems may not determine the growth. Now, if you look at the human anatomy, you have the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, the muscular, even this building, you have electrical system, but not all cables are the same. You have 2 mm cable, you have 4 mm cables. The cables that runs the lighting, the sockets are not the same. But what you must understand about system, that everything that is connected works, and everything that works is connected. You must understand that principle, that everything that must work must be connected, and everything that is connected must work. So that also applies in the industry. I'm stressing this about system because a lot of creative, this is where they struggle. When you come in as another dog into the scene, let me speak to the artists, the performing arts. Now in the industry, we have the creative sector, you have the performing sector, and all that. Performing arts and creative arts. Most struggles that we have as producers that work from behind the scene with most of the artists is that they think that talent is all they need to bring to the table. In this business, talent is 5%. All I need from you is 5% of your talent. Your talent is nothing. Your talent cannot produce 1 naira. Talent is a gift given to you by God. You follow the package, it's free. But you need to learn a skill. You need to develop the skill. That is your assignment. That you can sing does not guarantee. Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you not been disappointed most of the time you watch talent hunt shows, most of these big talent hunt shows? Your favorite singer never makes it to top 5. What do you think happened? Because the college of judges, they have criteria for which they will pick the singer. The best singer may not sell 1 naira in the market. Why would I sign that kind of a person? Because what you sell is not the voice. What you sell is the entire package. So we must understand how systems work. Most talented people are so entitled that they feel that what they have is enough. So they cannot connect. And if you do not connect, you will not work. Whatever is connected works. Whatever works is connected. Now, in the system of the entertainment industry, you must understand that the same way your muscular system needs to integrate with your respiratory system is the same way it works in our industry. Are you guys following me? It's the same way it works in our industry. Now, an artist alone can employ a minimum of 10 persons. One act. A poet, a singer, an actor, blah, 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 can employ a minimum of 10 persons directly and indirectly. If you stretch it, 25 persons. If you overstretch it, 50 persons. Most of the time a song is dropped, a song is released, about 500 people may earn. Are you following me? Now, an artist will walk in here to perform. He or she will come with his or her manager. That's one. Abi, you will come with a band. A small band consists of 8 people, 9 persons, 5 instrumentalists, 3 singers. Are you following me? Now, he or she will need people that will promote that event. You will pay bloggers. Bloggers are earning. Graphic designers are earning. Are you following me? The radio OAPs, DJs are earning. TV presenters are earning. Who else again? The tailor, the fashion designer is earning. The makeup artist. Everybody earns. The music business involves everybody. Now, one of the biggest, one of the most important category of persons that is needed for the growth of this industry is all of you put together. The fan base of that artist. Without a fan base, there's nothing to sell. There's nobody to sell to. That's why every one of you is important. Your opinion counts. Your opinion about that artist counts. Your input counts. Now, some of you are music enthusiasts. You have songs on your playlist you have not played in the last 5 years. You can't delete it. Let me see your hands. You have songs in your playlist 3 years. You can't delete it. You've not played it too. There's something that makes you compile those playlists. There's something that makes you go in search of new content, new materials from this particular artist. People like you are very important in the industry. Some of you organize events. Either you're organizing your child's birthday, you're organizing a wedding party, or whatever social event you want, you will need somebody to perform. The DJ that will perform is also promoting the music. So everybody is important in this fair. So we must understand how we all connect. So therefore, how do you start? Let me establish. So you must understand how we all connect, and you must deliberately and consciously begin to help the industry grow. As a fan, as a music critic, as a music enthusiast, you must begin to. Some of you come to a place like this, and you see some people perform. You love what they do. They so much, like we say in church, bless you. There's so much impact on you that you enjoyed yourself. Please go ahead to call the person and dash the person 5 naira. Somebody shout amen. And let that thing that you enjoy so much that became soul lifting, let it put your hand in your pocket to say, I want to support you. That's how you help the industry grow. Now, finally, I will want to dive into how somebody will now ask, how do I start, how do I go into a music business? It's very simple. You need to, first of all, create a business plan. The same way you create a business plan for your boutique, for your shop, for your enterprise. Create a business plan that you want to start with. Choose a specific name that can sell itself. Choose your name that can sell itself for the business. Go to Corporate Affairs Commission, register the business. Go to the bank and register and open your bank accounts. Then structure your business. For you to be able to run as an investor or as a stakeholder, define the kind of label you want to run. Now, most people, maybe during the panelist section, I will be able to explain their question comes up, the different kind of labels and how they operate. Not all labels are record labels. They fall under those 4 categories. Some people are running management labels, production label, marketing label, and distribution labels. I will explain that if the opportunity comes, and also explain how they operate and how it applies to you. I will give a few examples. So basically, how do you start a music business? These are some of the things you need to do, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Please, another round of applause. I was listening with rapt attention. I told you that this session you might not see me up again. If not that they forced me to come up, I would have been taking notes now and be asking questions. Because the important thing I heard in this session is that it's not about talent. Talent is what? 5%. So that means that me and the best singer, me and Omo that sang here and led us, two of us have the same industry. So me, I can enter the music industry now with my voice, and I can win in this music industry. So, sir, please, I want to know the 95% so that me too, I can be a musician. Which other sector is the actor? How much did I say I want to make? $1 million per event, right? So I need all the industries complete. Again, we are stepping into, very strongly, we're stepping into the next session very, very strongly. Again, somebody important I just saw somebody enter at the corner of my eye. His industry too. I want to begin to earn from that industry. And we're going to take note of that person when the time comes. Just get ready. Again, write your questions down. If you have a question on the music business, there was a lot he did not say, and I'm sure you know there was a lot he did not say. So put the information down and get ready for the next session. Again, please keep rapt attention. I had asked a question before at the beginning. For those of you who were not here, I said the price of that question, the prize that you were going to win was 10 million. Sir, is it Dogecoin or Dogecoin? The coin that. No, sir. It's the convener. I want the convener to pay the price for the convening of the answer of that question. So the question again was, we have plenty people here. If plenty people now go left, plenty people go right, plenty people go back, and plenty people go front, how many people will be left here? Plenty people? No, now that's the, no, you didn't think deeply. Because there's something that we normally say. Everybody here says it sometimes. We don't know why we say it, but we always say it. And it's a very simple statement, and I'm going to tell you that statement now. When plenty people gather, and plenty people go left, plenty people go right, plenty people go front, plenty people go back, what is left is what we say, "E plenty small." Have I caught you? Have I caught you? Was there a cut? You know in your heart that you say this thing. The food they served you, is it plenty or is it small? It plenty small. Can you finish it? This food plenty small. So you know when plenty people leave, what is remaining is what? Plenty. You know, that's the Nigerian language. Nigeria is the only place where we also say things twice. Sharp, sharp, fast, fast. Luku, luku, play, play. All your own. Just be adding the ones that you say in your... Again, we are going to have a very important session. Very important person just came in who is going to speak to us and give us the overview of the entire entertainment industry. So I would like to welcome, very specially, immediately after the cue and the profile that is going to be read, please note that the person coming on stage is none other than GCFR Ali Baba.
Atoyota Alleluia Akpobume, professionally known as Ali Baba, is a Nigerian stand-up comedian, master of ceremonies, and actor. Ali Baba was born in Warri, Delta State, Nigeria on June 24, 1965. To the royal family of Agbaroto. He is the first son of several children and spent his first 8 years in Warri. His father is a retired soldier who served in Lagos. He attended Command Secondary School, Ipaja, Lagos, and Hebrew College, Agbaroto, Delta. He attended Bendel State University, now Ambrose Ali University, Epoma, and graduated with a degree in religious studies and philosophy. After completing his academic degree in 1990, he relocated back to Lagos to develop his comedic talent he discovered at the university. Originally, he planned to study law, but decided he could be more successful by making people laugh than by defending them. He began his professional career performing at corporate events, appearing on television shows with Patrick Doyle, Charlie Boy, Danladi Baku, and making cameo appearances on radio shows with BC Olatilo, Sonny Irabo, and Mani Onumomu. He also worked with Prince Adedapo Benjamin Adelegon of DP Lekki Limited as executive assistant.
All right, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for all of you who have been made. All right, let me find out, but do you all have these copies? If you don't, please raise your hand so they can come to you. Do you all have one? And I was thinking that, like how many people do we have here? Okay, so I guess they have to do more photocopies. They have to do more photocopies because I need to speak from this point. Okay. So, in 2021, I was made the chairman of the Nigerian creative industry. Federal government made me the chairman of Nigerian creative industry. And they said we should crystallize and document all the entertainment industry, creative industry actually, not entertainment, creative industry. So now the creative industry, for some of you, you do not know how far that is. Some of you think creative industry is music, movies, comedy, and fashion. Some people do not know that architecture is part of the creative industry. Why is it part of the creative industry? Somebody designs a house and you build the house. The creative process has taken place. So if you listen to Wizkid's song, you're listening to a creative work. If you drive past Civic Center, that is a creative work that was done by somebody. So what I want to tell you is, as many creative industry, I'll talk about as many creative industry as possible, and as I mention them, I would like you to fill them in any of all those boxes. As I mention those creative industry, I'd like you to fill them in any of all those boxes. And why are you doing that? Because I'm going to be speaking to them item by item. I'll try and rush it over so that, in fact, I just had a meeting with someone who wants to do, the man is in oil and gas, and he says he wants to bring in 2 million, he wants to bring in 2 million billboards that will be high, mean like top high billboards, digital, and he wants to install them across Nigeria, and he wants to take over that industry. He's in oil and gas, but he has seen that a lot of people like visuals, and so he wants to put those billboards across Nigeria, and he wants to bring 2 million, and he's budgeting that he's going to spend 25 billion. Now, of that 25 billion, you are sure that the man will make over 100. And why does he want to do that? He is building towards the 2027 elections. By the time all the billboards are everywhere in the country, when the time for election comes, he will make money. I said, why did he come to this conclusion? He said he was sitting with his friend who was raking in money from advertising during these last elections. and the kind of money the person made in 1 month, he has to import things, sell them to make that kind of money. Let me tell you the truth. The money Davido made from performing at the O2 and Wizkid made from performing at the O2 Arena, some companies will have to work 2 years to make that profit. But guess what? It is still the man that owns a company that is given more respect than Wizkid. Wizkid is just an artist. But Wizkid is making more money than his company and everything that he's doing. If he decides that he wants to buy a Rolls Royce, he has to budget for it. Wizkid can decide to buy one today and buy another one tomorrow. So why am I talking about this? It is that the opportunities are great and grand. All you just have to do is know what the opportunities are. So let's go. In the 3 boxes on top, write music, movies, and comedy. In the boxes under, at the bottom, write fashion, broadcasting, in those 3 boxes under, and social media. Now, in the boxes on the side, write visual arts, write journalism, write photography, write tourism, and write literary arts. In the other side, write hair and makeup, hair and makeup artistry. In one of those boxes, write graphic arts. Another one, write artist management. In one of those boxes, write venues. Look for a box there and write interior decorators. Do we still have empty boxes? Yes. 2 empty boxes. 4? The one in the middle writes the entertainment industry or creative industry, whatever works for you. Now, write PR and marketing. Do you have public speaking and coaching? I think all our boxes are complete now. Okay. Do we have artist management? You have legal and, okay, allied businesses. Allied businesses. I'll tell you what allied businesses are later. And then the artist management is very important, but if you've written then allied services. Now, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with this, we're just scratching the surface of the creative industry. Just this alone will let you know the amount of. Do you have literary arts? Do you have publishing? No. Okay, so put publishing and printing. So publishing and printing in one box. This last one that I mentioned, I have a friend. He has a house in Ogudu, and he built it from publishing diaries. Those diaries that used to be very commonplace back in the days, diaries. He built the house from publishing diaries. So all through the year, he's gathering information. So he proposes to this company and says, we need to give your diaries to some companies. We'll put photographs of your businesses in between the diary. We'll write about the key things that you have done so that people will have your diaries, and we make them for executives, for middle management, and for common people. And so by the time he started doing for 2 companies, and the MD will present the thing to another MD, and the MD will be like, oh, this is nice. Where did you get it? Before the end of the year, he moved from doing for 2 people to making for 12 people. And that is all he does. So after completing, and he starts working from March for the diary of the next year. So by the time they finish all their productions and submit all of that, the man is on holiday. He travels to South Africa, travels to other places, trying to go to conferences to see how to make better diaries. So I see that my time is running, so I'll just quickly run through. Fashion. As I'm talking, if there's anything that's related to what you do, you can just jot it in. Selling fabrics is one. Owning a boutique is another. Being a stylist is another. And then being a fashion critic is another. And being a photographer that covers fashion is another. If you're a journalist, you can cover the fashion industry and report about it. These are opportunities in the fashion industry. Beyond being, and then you can also be a model. You can also be a scout. Who is a scout? A scout in football is somebody who goes about looking for people who play well. Oh, this boy is a great midfielder. I think Chelsea will need him. They will carry the boy, train him, put him well, and then next thing you hear, 200,000 pounds. And you're like, this boy that used to play at the back of the compound. But it's a scout that found him and then look for the good place to sell him. Now, let's go to broadcasting. You hear of OAPs. You hear of content creators. You hear of presenters. You hear of newscasters. All of those are people in the creative space, and you can be one of them. Don't use your English to only quarrel at home. There are some people, if they speak English here, when they are quarreling, the phone and words are all correct. Now, journalism, there's no double saying that. You can write for a magazine, you can be a columnist, you can be an official writer, reporter for any newspaper. All you just need to do is look for an area you think is not properly covered and go in there and tell them, I think the sector of entertainment, your newspaper is not covering it well. I think I can do that. The area of fashion, you're not covering it well. I think I can report on that. The area of Christendom, you're not reporting that area well. Let me do it every Sunday. Let me be interviewing bishops so that people see the vision that they have. That is taking opportunities for a sector. Tourism. There are places in this country that are beautiful, except for security reasons. But there are places in this country that are beautiful that people do not even know about. All you need to do is go there with a camera, take the pictures, and continue to document them in a particular page. What is it that some other people do that don't? What is National Geographic? It's because they're covering nature. And that is what tourism is all about. People then get to know a particular place and go. You can organize tours. Literary arts, writers. Chimamanda is not a footballer. Wole Soyinka is not a footballer. They are writers. What are the skills that you have that you can use to push yourself? Now, events management. Did you write that before? Events management is a very key part. It is making so much money now. You've heard of Yewande Zacchaeus, you've heard of Funke Obrute. All of these people make huge money. In the last check, there's nobody that begins to plan organizing committee anymore. Back in the days when you have an event, you say, okay, organizing committee, bring this person, bring that person, bring that. Now when people want to get married or do anything, they just call an event planner. The event planner comes and puts everything together. Event planning is a big business and you need to look into that. Venues. In 2004, I was looking for venues to do an event when I had my first event. And I found out that purpose-built event centers were scarce. So I was going around and I went to Zenith Bank. I told Jim, I said, okay, I need loan. He said, how much? I said, I need 500 million. He said, what? I said, I want to build an event center. Jim said, instead of giving me 500 million to build an event center, he will give oil and gas people to bring crude oil or bring finished product and sell. I said, okay. We had this talk. It was in Femi's office, Femi Otedola. Because I saw him and I just pitched it to him. He said, no. 2005, I leased a place opposite Lekki British School. When you're going towards ShopRite. It was 4,500 square meters. I interlocked everywhere. And at the end, I built a small place that was like a bar and everything. By 2006, I had made over $1 billion. The same people that said that it was not profitable were coming to use the place. That was where we had the platform. I don't know how many of you attended, but the platform was organized the first time at my place, excusez-moi. And what am I saying? The opportunities in the entertainment and creative industry is huge. All you need to do is just make sure that you click the right boxes and you would not go broke. At the point, the kind of money I was making from that place, one day I was sitting down and Mountain Dew came and said they want to build ramps so that people can come and ride bicycles and skates and everything, and they want to take it for 2 weeks. So first they will build the whole place. They don't want anybody to use it. I said, okay. Now, I've not charged that kind of money before. So I said, how much are they? They said, well, they're just looking at 10 million. So in my mind, I was like, 10 million, 2 weeks. God is good. So I told them, I said, can they do 15? He said, no, Oga. There I was thinking for the 2 weeks. So I said, Oga, no, 15. Let's do 10 now. You know it's for 10 days. That's for 10 days. So 10. I said, I was thinking they wanted to pay 10 million for the 10 days. 2 weeks though. So 5 of those days will be active. So, and they now told me they wanted to pay 10 million. So I said, well, just so that we start good business, so we don't argue. So we did 10 million, and then for 10 days, you know how much. And so, when I finished from there, and by the way, the reason I even closed the Excusez-moi was because I didn't have parking space, because it was only the land I got, so we're parking on the road. And then next door was Diamond Bank space. So we're using Diamond Bank space for car park. Then next after that is GTB. And then when ShopRite opened, Diamond Bank built their space. So I was using only GTB car park. Then GTB now opened and started building. I didn't have car park anymore. Then Lagos State started building toll gates. And they took everywhere around there. But because I had some connections, thank God, they didn't take all my land. And so quickly, I sold it to Union Bank and left that place. But you see, it's investment. You need to invest in some ideas. Second thing, social media. A lot of people used to yab me those days when I joined Twitter and I was tweeting and people were like, what are you doing? You're going to mix with all these boys that are not your mates. Do you know your mates are in Facebook? Then one day, one guy calls me and says, Ali, my company wants you to help them post some things. I said, yeah. I say, where? I say, on Twitter. I say, you want to post something for these people that you say are children? I don't know my mate. He said, it's for business. I said, so I charge them. What am I saying? It's a platform to connect with people. And if you are a serious-minded businessman, you should use those spaces. But before they can use your space, you have to cultivate a following that know that you can provide that access. Then, on social media as well, you can see a lot of skit makers are making so much money. They are paid in dollars by views. If he gets 2,000 views, he can get about like $20,000. All of them are making so much money. Skits. Though some of the skits are jokes that we have told before, you now dramatize them. But they're still making money all the same. Because nobody wants to read our jokes or hear the jokes. But if they dramatize it in 1 minute skit, they can see it. But they're making money. They're buying houses, buying cars, living luxurious lives because they are feeding a need. Artist management. To manage artists is a big space in the entertainment industry that people do not know about. One guy one time told me that he wanted to manage Waje. Waje had told me she needed a manager. So I called this guy and said, "Can you manage Waje?" He said, "Yes, now." So I told him, I said, "Study her well." Oh. He said, that he worked with somebody before. So he came. I said, "What's her birthday?" He said, "He will find out." I said, "Who are her best friends?" He doesn't know yet. I said, "Okay. What are her favorite meals? Who do you think she wants to become? Who is she looking up to as a mentor?" You see, I met an artist manager who had managed about like 3 or 4 people and worked before with Harry Belafonte at the age of 17. And she told me an artist manager would think ahead for the artist. I would tell the artist, "I think we need to do a collabo with that guy. He's going to be very big. Oh, I think we need to do a concert in so and so place. A lot of your fans are there. I think we need to do so and so. I think we should stop wearing this kind of tattered jeans so they can see us more corporate." But if you do not fit that profile, then you are an assistant. You are a PA. You are a yes man. If you are a houseboy, it's different from being an artist manager that helps the artists grow their careers. My time is running off. I'll just wait. Some of you are lawyers. In the entertainment space, there is need for lawyers. You actually could have a program on TV or have a consultancy for people. PR and marketing is a done deal. You know artists. I know someone who makes. He is a sports writer in a newspaper house, and he saw Osimhen one time after the football match, and he told Osimhen, "Bros, let me be writing your stories for you, for Nigerian press, and be documenting everything for you." And Osimhen said, "Okay, I'll be doing it." And I said, "You just be giving me something small so that I can be going to cover all those places." Now, you see Osimhen's picture, Osimhen's stories and everything. The guy is the one coordinating everything. He's earning more than his editor in his newspaper. Because he was there. And then he got a name that he uses to do that so that his boss will not know. So you see all these Osimhen stories that are, Osimhen scored 4 goals. Osimhen has injury. In fact, he will make 4 stories out of that injury. Even yourself would like to be injured. Then when they lose, he will say, "You see, if Osimhen had played, this is what would have happened." So ladies and gentlemen, that's important. Then interior decorators. You cannot tell me that interior decorators are making so much money right now. And why are they making those monies? It's because they know the value chain. They know what is necessary and they know what they should do. Ladies and gentlemen, an iconic woman just walked in an institution. Please give her a round of applause. Auntie Jokes. In all, I'll go to this few points and then I'll round up. How many of you watch MasterChef? MasterChef. Or have you seen it on TV? MasterChef, all right? $370 million was what it made in 2020. So I've not checked 2021, 2022, 2023. In fact, there is Junior MasterChef where children cook. Who has seen it? Junior MasterChef made $480 million from the first showing. What was the interest? Children were seeing themselves cook and competing. And children who had aspirations to become chefs saw a tie-in to that program. But I watched MasterChef and I said, they don't even have as much food as we have. And this chef thing that they are talking about, they will just put one plate there, put one thing, carry oil, cross like this, and put green flour here, and say, pepperoni supati. $400. And you know how people are there eating it, say, pepperoni. Well, but you see, there's something else that has it. That's why it's called culinary art. After cooking it, make the presentation different. Even in culinary art, photography can benefit. The marketing of it is also there. And then reporting about that thing is another issue. You can be a journalist that reports culinary art. So the opportunities abound in everything. Graphic arts. If you are someone who does graphic arts, okay, I've been told this time up. If you're someone who does graphic arts, there are so many artists who want to look presentable online. There are designs that people, all you need to do is do a design and send to them by DM. But first, send it to your email. That's for copyright. Everything you do, always send to your email first. And then from that, your email, get the person's email and send to them. So that when they then go ahead, I've made so much money from that thing. I have an idea, I send it to you from my email. Then you go ahead and do it. And we'll now begin to share your profits without me even working. But there's so many ideas. So ladies and gentlemen, maybe when we then get talking, publishing and all of that, there's so many things that will, but I hope that, well, 3 minutes more. 10 minutes more. Thank you. Thank you. Now, photography. I need to just show you. Come, my brother. Oluya. Sorry. All right, so now, this guy has something in his hand here. This thing is equivalent to a footballer's leg. This thing is holding is equivalent to a footballer's leg. It's equivalent to a microphone in the hands of Wizkid. This thing that he's holding. All he needs to do is to invest in this thing right now and begin to apply it to different things. He can do weddings. He can do tourist photography. He can do portraiture. He can, for instance, there are many people who go to weddings and want large pictures. Take pictures with 10 people, 12 people also. But you find that there's a photographer there that says, oh, please, just stay. And they take a picture. And when they frame it and give it to you, it becomes the most shared picture that you have. When somebody says, can you give us a picture of, you send that one. Can you give it, you send that one. But you see, the other thing that he would not now do that is bad is he takes those pictures and doesn't watermark them. Watermark your picture so when they share it, people know that it is yours. Please, thank you so much. Now, that's another business. It's a business. There's so many things that you can make from that. Photography. You see some people, they just snap pictures of people. There was one picture that I took in when they were just building Lekki Road. The Lekki Expressway. And I took this picture and submitted it, and I won £2,000. It was a picture of a woman carrying a baby on her back. She had a Ghana must go on her head. She had one bag here and another bag here, and she balanced the Ghana must go well. I was crossing to the other side of Lekki, so I parked and took the picture. And I submitted it for Women of the Year. And I didn't hear from them afterward. Then I then got a message and said that they needed to speak with me. So they now told me, oh, your picture qualified for a Woman of the Year, this thing, you were third prize. And I said, oh, beautiful. They said, send your details. So I sent them my domiciliary account and they paid the money. And I was like, wow. But you see, some people will see that and walk past because their creative mind is not thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, there are services that back up this our industry. There are some people that are not entertainers at all, but we rent cameras from them. We go to rent equipment from them. We rent venues from them. We rent halls and houses from them to shoot movies. So what is it? There is a space, if you're an oil and gas person here, to build a film village. Build a film village that somebody just comes with cameras and crew. They stay in the hotels that you have built in the place, or dormitories, hostels, anything that you call them, and then the chalets, and then come out and shoot the movie in your premises without going out. So they drive like this. There's a road, there's a filling station that you've built, there's a market square, there's a church building, and they can only change colors and they can shoot their movie in that place. That's another opportunity for all these people that are in oil and gas. So much money. I know that my auntie is building one in her state. And I think they were trying to even take your land at that time, Abby. They encroached, Abby. Yeah, she has a film village that she's working on. Ladies and gentlemen, the business of the creative industry is huge. Comedy, you already know. There are more comedy concerts now than musical concerts. And when you talk about a comedy concert, a lot of people just think, oh, Alibaba is on stage performing. They forget that interior decors will work, sound engineers will work, the lighting people will work, the people who will do graphic designs and branding are there. The people who will then do interior decoration are there. The people who work as ushers. There's a lady that I've met like several times. She works as an usher and gradually has moved to the point now that she now provides ushering services. And she started as one usher way back. And sometimes just from ushering, she was able to pay her school fees and take care of her mom. Then they were paying them 5,000. I think it got into about 20,000 or 25,000 now to be our ushers. But when you see them at events, you're like, all these girls that share program. You don't know that the person is in a business. The other thing is security. You've heard the word K-Square. K-Square is the most used security company now for events. You know those men that look like ice block that NEPA took light for 5 days, and some of them, their chest is like this monitor here, and it won't melt. Those kind of guys. There are plenty just roaming about. Some of them are at bus stops or gym, and they just go and gym and look good. Then K-Square will now go to them and say, this is your chest, we can use it to go to uniform. And you stand in front of this thing. If the person doesn't have invite, the person walks back when they see you. In fact, when the person even has invite, when he gets to the place, he'll be like, here, my invite, I was invited though. Because you know the guy can beat you out. So that is it. And then you now have women that have gone into the space as well. So security as well is important. And then when people go to shoot movies, we also need security. Movies that many times we've gone to this, and then now when celebrities go to certain places, the kind of bouncer that follows them lets you know you can't just come and say, I want to take picture. I see somebody asking Whiskey's bouncer for permission to take picture before. I said, just ask Whiskey. They said, you don't see the man when he stand here. So they first go meet the bouncer. Can I? So if you ask permission to take picture, will you now have the head to say you want to beat Whiskey? Ladies and gentlemen, with these few points of mine, I think that you understand. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Put your hands together again. Again, I took something very important. The one thing that I took from this is that when you're driving on the road, see something interesting, what do? Park and please, Lasma is not looking at you. Please, don't go and stop on third minute. There are different roads, there are different types of roads. So know the road you are on before you park and... Okay, good. Very important, because £2,000 is serious. I think when I calculated it, it's adding to the 1 million I said I'm going to collect. So I'm getting there by the time Again, one quick question for you. Without looking at your paper in 2 seconds, how many boxes are on that paper? My talent is to count boxes. 14. 50. Plenty waiting. Small. There are 21 boxes. That's my talent. I'm going to open my own industry side to be counting items. I will soon count everybody here and give you the number very soon. So events, that's what I'll be doing. Very quickly, we are going to move to the panel session. And to host this panel session is my senior colleague, a man of timber, caliber, caterpillar, and powerful. a powerful man. And he is a transformer indeed. Please welcome to the stage Reverend Uyi Ago.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. We have a full house, and we're going to go straight to the first panel. We have two panels today. We're going to go straight to the first one, where we're going to interact with three very notable persons who are here. I'll just set some of the ground rules, then we'll proceed. You can write your questions down. There are protocol officers standing on every aisle. Give them the questions just be brief, and we understand what you're trying to say. Okay? Be brief with your question. We will not be able to take all questions. So if I were you, I would start writing them now. You can only write one or two on a paper, and they will pass it across to me. We'll sift it, sort it out, and then we ask the panelists. Okay, so I'm going to now quickly call on stage the three panelists for this first panel, and then before we move to the other panel later, let me call back on stage, because he just left stage, the one and only, the legendary Ali Baba, to come on stage. Ali. I'd like to now recognize to come next on stage Nigeria's premier gospel DJ, the one and only DJ Gosporella. Please make him feel very welcome. Welcome, sir. And finally, for this segment, I'd like to welcome the chairman himself of multiple diverse business enterprises, a legend in his own right, one and only Omoba Deji Rao, to come on stage at this time. Thank you, sir.
Hello, Tufia. It's working.
All right, DJ Gosporella, please check your mic if it's working.
Oh, check one, two.
Thank you.
Mic check. Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, we have about an hour for this session. 59 minutes they gave us. Okay, one minute for the introduction. Let me start from my far left. Let me start from Omoba Deji Rao. We're talking business. We're not talking our personal lives, but our personal lives cannot be divorced from our businesses. Okay? What prompted you to go into X2D? And how exactly are you making money from X2D?
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. X2D means Exclusive to Divinity. It's a Christian-inspired entertainment and lifestyle TV channel. The brand is like 15 years old now, but we started the channel in 2006. For me, I've always been interested in entertainment, media things, and what led me there is an assignment. I felt I'd taken an interest in broadcasting since I was in university, and I began to be on radio, be on TV, do different things. But I felt that a gap. And I noticed that gap when I worked with my friend Tony Suba at High TV. I was the first channel manager for High TV, and I noticed that there was a build-up to what you call local content. That was when Nigeria's music industry was coming up, and I was in charge of the safe family entertainment channel called the High Life channel, and I realized that I was struggling to buy Nigerian content for broadcast. It was easy to buy different things, soaps, different things that were not safe and family friendly or Christian inspired. But I knew that over the time, I'd always had this vision of building something. And I think one of the things that inspired me was the fact that I was coming back after serving in Jos, I think it was 1997 thereabout, and I heard God tell me clearly that this talent I've given you, I'm going to need you to go into broadcast, and it will be something that glorifies my name and honors my name and builds family and is able to do stuff. So that the idea had always been there. But when I now walked in High TV and I saw what was happening with Nigeria's local content. That was the rise. And at that time, what we did in High TV was that those who are living in the UK on the Sky Network, we actually put the Nigeria channel and High Nolly on Sky. So for the first time in the world, people in the UK were able to watch what was happening in Nigeria real time. That was what broke the barrier of earlier. Before then, when you release a song in Nigeria, the UK guys hear it maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. But that was what made UK and Nigeria be on the same page. So as the beginning of the rise, we just found out that all of us were in the UK. And the channels, that particular channel was winning awards literally all over the place. And, it kind of inspired me to say, if I was going to go on this journey of building this, Christian-inspired entertainment channel for God, I needed to start that conversation now. So that was basically what it was. So for me, it wasn't a money conversation that started, X2D for me. It was that issue of trying to make entertainment safe, trying to glorify God, and trying to create an ecosystem like we're talking about, where we build different communities where, yes, we are making money, but at the same time, we are passing positive message and values about Nigeria, about who we are, and how we can use Christianity to be able to be a blessing to the world around us. Now, concerning the money conversation there, just like, our big brother Ali Baba just said, you will realize that there is an ecosystem. So what will happen is the fact that the more you look into a particular industry or area, you will find where the money is. You will find where it connects. So for me, starting the TV platform, getting cameras meant I could rent cameras out, like he said. I also realized that I could cover events. I also realized that I could do productions for people. I also realized that we could become a channel and begin to take adverts. So the more you stay in an industry, the more you will see the loopholes and where you can plug in. So all you just need to do is keep building capacity. And as you keep building capacity, and like, he also said, it was Inu that talked about building systems. Systems are those things that ensure that whatever you are doing is interconnected, and at the end of the day, it brings you what you need to bring. So that was basically the foundation of what it was. So even till now, we are still seeing new business initiatives that can be plugged into what we're doing. So you will find out that as you keep going on, the money keeps telling you, I'm here, and then you keep diversifying and building capacity in that area.
Thank you. That's fantastic summary. What I heard at the end of that is that money talks. Money tells you I'm here. And money gives you the direction to go. Something is unique about you and DJ Gosperella, which maybe Alibaba doesn't have directly. You started from a Christian platform. DJ Gosperella is still gospel rela. Alibaba is a hustler. Okay. If not church, you go there. If not be church, Alibaba covers barriers, anything. Okay. So DJ Gosperella, I want to take that question to you from that. You are going along the gospel line. The first question is, number one, is there really money in gospel? Then two, this DJ work you are doing, I've seen there's been a transition from our DJs. Jimmy Jat was doing DJ. Later, he started to also record music. Now this Lagos we do this now. Recorded DJ Copy is recording music. Neptune, Spinall, Exclusive. Everybody's recording music now, not just playing, not just doing DJ. But you have also started recording music as well. Is it that doing DJ alone is not enough? You must diversify.
Well, hello everybody. To answer that question, the last one, the Yorubas will say Onoko Woja. And that means that one road does not lead into the market. Yeah? So if you call yourself a DJ and that's all you know how to do, especially if you're a gospel music DJ, hungry go catch you. Yeah, it's just like, I'm not trying to put anybody down. It's just like you just been saying that I am a pastor and pastoring is all that you do. Yeah? Truth of the matter is all of us know that when God calls you into ministry, you have just been called into sacrifice. That's what we do a lot. Yeah? So being a DJ is very... I was a secular DJ before I was a gospel music DJ. I was called into it. It's a ministry. If you ask me now if being a secular DJ is more what's the word now? It's more lucrative than being a gospel DJ. I would say to you that it's me having my cake, eating my cake and having it. Yeah, because I work for the owner of the earth. Lots of people have asked me, how do you survive? And I say to them that the person whom you work for pays you. You have to first and foremost know what you are doing and why you are doing what you are doing and who you are responsible to. I am responsible to God. Now, let me say this. I was earning as a secular DJ. I was the highest paid DJ at that time in Nigeria. I say it all the time. I was working at a nightclub right here in Lagos in Victoria Island. I was earning 40,000 naira a weekend. DJs were being paid 10,000 naira a month at the time. Yeah, and that was when God called me. And when he called me, I said to him, this work that you have called me into, because as at that time, the best music that was gospel music that anybody could play was Lift Him Up. If you know that, you know, Don Moen. And here I was, a DJ who was playing hip hop. I was playing all the headbanging songs in the club. And I said to him, I can't do this. Well, God will not force you. He just keeps quiet. And what he did to me was, he made me to hate the music that I was playing. I have no regrets today, because if people ask me now, do you have money? I will say yes. Where is the money? Even I can't see it, but when I need it, I get it. It's a sacrifice that, if you agree, it was a covenant. I cut it with him. When eventually I discovered that this is the reason why God created me, when I discovered that if I want to continue to do what I am doing right now, I will end up in an entity, I agreed. I ran anyways. It took me 3 years before I finally said yes. I was called in 2000. Inside the nightclub was where God called me out of the dark places. Now I have a book in the writing that I called From the Nightclub to the Light Club. It's coming, yes. The Gosporella brand is going to be 20 years on 1st of July, and we are doing something massive, yes. So what am I trying to say? The business of being in the business of God is lucrative. In that, if you know what you are doing and you walk on water like a barefoot prophet. Okay, I speak in parables. You know, like when God calls you, because somebody has asked me, who is in the business of gospel entertainment, if you might call it that. I don't believe I'm in entertainment. I am in ministry. Yeah? He has asked me, bros, you want to tell me, say, now only this DJ now you they do? I said, yes. And he said, are you sure you don't do any other thing that is giving you all this? Okay, all the fly things that you are doing and all that. And I said to him, I need you to understand that if he called you, he will also make provisions for you. Now, what is left is if you can manage the provisions that he makes for you. Lots of us, we take the money that God gives us to run ministry, to run our own personal deals. And that's why we go broke. So, yes, there is money in this business because the person we work for is the owner of the earth and the fullness thereof. Yes? And then, now, I'm not just saying that because I'm here as a panelist. It has to do with your belief system. Yes, my belief system is such that I am too stubborn. I would have left this, seriously, I would have left this if I was not called into it. Yeah, because it's a very difficult, sacrificial field. Nobody have ever done gospel music DJing before. And you just come from somewhere and you say, I'm a gospel. Even pastors were telling me you want to corrupt our children. So how do you run that? Yes, as for transitioning, it's part of it. I don't do music because of the money I want to make out of it. I do music to set a pace. I tell the gospel because I'm also into artist profiling and music promotions, yes? So for the artist to get to know what next to do. I am in contemporary. I'm not in praise and worship. My business is for young people. And all the music I do, I direct it at the young minds because they are the ones, who are the future of the church. And if you want to know where your children are, every weekend, go and check the nightclubs. That's why we must have light clubs.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please pick from what they're saying. It talked about artist profiling just now. It talked about music promotion just now. In trying to answer another question, those are also business channels too that you need to also think of. Okay, a lot of questions have come in. I'm going to ask Ali Baba one question about Excusez-moi. I know Excusez-moi has been in your heart for years. Not just the event place. It's not a TV station. It has transitioned. I was at Excusez-moi in 2006. It was MTN that was doing a tour of Two-Face and Friends. And that was where Nice was discovered. And Nice came on stage at your Excusez-moi. And I was like, who is this guy? This guy must blow. This guy must blow. But now, it's no longer an event center only. It has transitioned into a TV station. So just tell us quickly about the dream and how you're making money from different sources along the dream. For Excuse-moi, for instance, your mic is here.
So first is discovering the talent that you have and applying it to different things. One of such applications is that once God has given you a talent, what you use it for is now based on your potentials. You determine what you use the talent for, because you then make the talent respond to needs. For instance, what God gave Joseph was dreaming. That was what he gave him. And he became a prime minister.
Oh.
He became a prime minister just from dreaming. And he applied himself to different things. He applied himself to being kind to people, applied himself to holding values that many people would have dropped. And so for me, the talent that I have is, I'm an ideas man, really. Beyond being a comedian, I'm an ideas man. I come up with ideas that I think hold a lot of values. And those values are what people then buy into. So like I tell people, I said, if you know how to sing, until somebody is ready to pay for it, it is a hobby. Any talent that you have, until you transition that talent to being of service to somebody, it is a hobby. So if you know how to sing well, you sing very well, but nobody is paying you for it, then it's just a talent that you have. So until you move the talent that you have to becoming something essential in other people's businesses. If you know how to speak, you are a motivational speaker, and until you can package something that will make a UBA say, come and talk to our staff in HR. Oh, come and speak to our guys in procurement. Come and talk to our drivers. Then you wanna. I know a coach, life coach, who was invited by a leasing company to come and talk to drivers. And I was like, how much did they pay? He said they paid 500,000 to talk to the drivers. I'm sure if they told the drivers that they paid somebody 500,000 to come and talk to them, the drivers would be like, give us the money, we'll talk to ourselves. But what was important was that the guy was paid to come and talk to them because some of the drivers were beginning to lose focus. They were costing the company money, making the company look bad, and endangering their own selves. What are the dangers of driving? Of not concentrating, of not reporting certain things, of undermining. So the driver, tell the driver, go and buy tires. He will buy 2 Tokumbos and buy 2 new ones and put them. Meanwhile, when the tire now bursts while he's driving and he has an accident, he's lost his life. He will now put his own people in danger of not having funds to continue their lives, because you're put here to provide for your people. So for me, what I do is that in every business that I do, I apply the talents that I have to meet those needs. Why did I set up an event center? I saw that there was need for an event center. Why did I set up Excusez-moi? I spoke with the minister. I told the minister, I said, this was in 2017. I told him, I said, oh, guy, I need a license. And he said, where? I said, Lagos. He said, Lagos is saturated. What do you need a license for? I said, but I need a TV license. He said, no, that if it's radio. I said, but there are too many radio stations. He said, you see, there's no need to get license again. So I told him, I said, I need a platform for the creative industry. And I cannot forget, we said, go to AIT, go to STB, do programs there. I said, but those ones are not committed to the creative industry. Now, when you look at the creative industry, you see the vacuum. Because if you watch Super Sports, you see that they have nearly 8 channels or more dedicated to different things. There's golf, there's football, and there's this one that they beat themselves, UFC. And all of those. So they have several channels. And I said, in the creative industry, if you decide to have a channel like Super Sport, you have over 40. But the dedicated channels need to be had because there's need for those channels to provide platforms for them. And when you say go to radio, how will you promote culinary art on radio? How will you promote fashion on radio? How will you promote dance on radio? How will you though there was radio drama, but you will see that there's deficiency in people connecting with the people that are acting for visuals. Even visual arts. There's so many things that if I want to teach people how to repair a phone, I can't do it on radio. So it is important for us to then speak to those needs. So the needs then drive you to create. And it's when it was the need that drove Jesus to make more fish. There was a need. And if they did not come to him to say, people are hungry, he won't create it. It was the need to protect Joseph that made the mother make a basket. Moses, that made the mother make a basket. If not, there was no need to make a basket now.
That's how hamper business started. Moses was the first person that was put in a hamper.
and when you then look at that story of Moses, you then see that there's a lot of creativity and the dynamics and boxes that need to be ticked for you to succeed. It is that you don't just make the basket. You must respond to a need. For instance, you made the basket, put Moses inside and put it by that thing, and you find out that the princess that is coming to have a birthday has 6 children. What will she do with Moses? There's no need. And then you must also find out that there's a place that you can meet the person. So you must respond to a market that needs you at a particular time. So timing is important. Because you would have gone there to put Moses, and she doesn't come there till night. Moses is there, baby, you can't feed the baby. And the baby will now die, then they will now carry dead Moses. So the thing is, you must also then do your own research. So for me, I do a lot of that, so that by the time I bring a product out or I go on stage to tell a joke, I've done my homework. Some people see me tell a joke to Obasanjo and feel like he can do this because he's Obasanjo. No, but I've done my research. When Ogun State and Amosun presented a white horse to Buhari when he came to launch the Buhari estate that's along the road. And when I came on stage, I said, well, a lot of you don't understand why the president is not liking this horse. I said, give him 2 cows, you will see. Even the president laughed. The president said, yes. Because cow makes more sense to him than horse. He's the full animal now. He will get cheese, he will get meat, he will get pomo, he will get skin. So it is responding to value. So that's what I do. So responding to value is how I create.
Yeah, thank you. Let's put our hands together for that. That's excellent. I'm going to come back to Alibaba on spontaneity and something else. But let me ask Deji or Moba this question from the audience. The question says, how do you balance the aim of making money in entertainment with your faith conviction?
It's a very simple conversation. The way I see it, like I said, entertainment, creativity for me is an assignment. And the aim is very simple. It's to influence the world around you for Christ, creating content that glorifies the name, builds family, strengthening stuff. That is the assignment. It will never change. So when money comes in, it's going somewhere. It knows where it's plugging into. So at the end of the day, what you do is to consistently cultivate a relationship with God where He's the one directing the things that you do. So at the end of the day, money is resource. Money is not the end game. Money is resource. It's the means to an end. The end will always be to glorify God. So at the end of the day, you are not looking for money excessively and compromising your values. For example, like they normally would say, we are already skewed. There are some things you won't be able to advertise on my channel. I take alcohol, I won't be able to take some other things. So automatically, and if I keep that, it's because my eye is on the end game. So at the end of the day, when money comes, we know where money is going, is to field a system that is running at the end of the day. So, but because your eye is on the one who called you and what he called you for, the money he permits to come to you must be used to run that which he has given you to run. So for me, what has helped me over the time is being led by the Spirit of God, is the focus of this is an assignment. Because at the end of the day, I say it with all due respect, I run media, but I'm not a celebrity. So I don't position myself as one. And I don't say that the people who do, but for me, I'm a back-end person. What I want to do is put other people there. I want other people to be seeing my presenters, all this kind of stuff, but I am a person, I'm not wired to be in that space, train myself around the whole place. So I'm a back-end person. I'm looking for how this system can work, what can we do with it? So when money comes, it's keying somewhere in that vision. So that is what makes me keep that vision, alive all the time, that we're here for a purpose. We're here to make entertainment safe. We're here to be able to propagate the gospel through it in a creative and an excellent way. So at the end of the day, there's no excessive loss to get money to compromise your values. And then when money comes, money goes where it needs to go, because you will stand one day and give account for it. Everything that passed through your hands. And if you want to be able to give an account, then you must understand that money comes in for a purpose and it must be going to that purpose.
Thank you very much. I think one thing that connects three of you is not just that you're doing your business, but you're also trying to raise the next generation. You help people. I mean, I've looked at all your profiles. You help people grow, help people come up. I just mentioned spontaneity just now. I think that was the heart of it. I've seen DJ Gosporele through the decades, and that's what you're also doing too. I mean, I have people that have come to your channel over time to do something. Small young boys that are coming up, and you give them platforms. So I want to ask DJ Gosporele, from the people that you raise, is there a business for you in raising them?
Like I said, at heart, I'm a mentor. Yeah, it's part of my calling is ensuring that young people do not misbehave, because my middle name was Misbehavior when I was growing up. Yeah, and I know what being stubborn can cause. He said something. It's not nice to sit among your friends. They know you. Okay, so I mentor young people when they come to me, and for instance, a young man calls me and he says, I want to be a gospel music DJ. I said, no, you are not called to be a gospel music DJ. Say you want to be a DJ. Yeah, go and be a DJ. He said, no, I just feel this urge that it's not about an urge. You have to be called, because this is a ministry. Oh boy, you go so far. Yeah, I say this with all my chest open. Yeah, and if I might just put it down here, some young people that come to me are very, very talented, and all they need is a push. I will say it any day and anywhere. The best singers in the whole wide world are found in the church. Yeah, but unfortunately, one thing which even bogs me down is nobody is ready to finance them. Yeah, and so what you find out as these young people, because they are so talented. I see them, I know they have all this stuff, and because even me, I'm handicapped. They say pikin when they feed, no, they feed dog. So I'm also handicapped. I cannot use what God has given to me for this present moment to do what he wants me to do in future, because a time will come where we will run the studio, where we bring all these children in, produce them, package them, promote them, and market them. The time is coming, but we are not grave diggers. We don't start at the top. So when that time comes, we are going to do that. So we just mentor them. Yeah, we talk to them. We ensure that they are still keeping the part. And I said to them, you see, look, find a job. Even like right now, there are so many gospel music DJs in Nigeria that people don't even know. And what I'm going to do at my event that is coming up on 1st of July is to introduce those guys to everybody, so that Christians do not have that excuse that is because there is no gospel DJ. That is why I hired a secular DJ for my wedding. Yeah, that's what God told me when he gave me this ministry. Go and do the same thing in my house. I was then in the nightclub, so I didn't know what to do, but he told me what to do. And I have been following that consistently for 20 years. And if you see Nigerian gospel music today, it's not what it used to be. Thank God that we have been able to stand the test of time, and people listen to us while we are telling them, do this, do that, do this. And I'm so happy that the same music that almost everybody listens to out there that is good music to them is now gospelified. Yeah? Afrobeat, hip-hop, reggae, all of them, they are in gospel music. And there are DJs that will play them for you, because we have mentored so many of them. They are doing good, little by little, but I also tell them, don't just be a DJ, or find another job, because you get ACB.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Ali Baba, there's a question that has been coming up. So many people they've asked this question around sponsorship. How do you get sponsorship?
Hello. All right. So sponsorship again is a matter of value. So let me work with myself. So most times when I plan a show, I push out the value of the show. And so there's something that your sponsors want. It's called mileage. Mm-hmm. Anybody that wants to buy into any idea that you have wants mileage. What will I benefit from it? And you do the post mileage and the pre-mileage and the post mileage. And then the event mileage. So the pre-event mileage, the event mileage, and then the post-event mileage. Until people see that the benefits that they will make goes beyond just sponsoring your event, they will not take part in it. If they see that your product is going to push their envelope a bit more, they wake up to it. So you see, like in a movie, the reason somebody decides to pay you so that the logo of his car will show in your movie is because they know that you will drive that car and catch the thief, so that it will look like it is the fast car that made you catch the thief. So that way they want you to show their logo. But if it is that in the movie they are driving the car and they broke down on 3rd Mainland Bridge, in your movie they will not sponsor it, because it will be reversed value. They will not get any benefit from it. So what is it that you are doing? Make sure there is value. So let's go to the Bible. Why did David have value? It was that, sorry, I studied religious studies and philosophy in school, so most times I go to this. So in the days of the Mediterranean times, where the Israelites and all of them were, the watering holes was a gathering point for a lot of people. Anywhere there's a well, a lot of people just gather there. Why? That's where they give water to camels. That's where people who, like the people, the story was that when the travelers were going by, the brothers wanted to sell Joseph to them. So when those people are traveling, they look for holes that have water. And there's another story there, and it is that if your well does not have value, nobody comes there. That's why you can throw somebody in it, because you know they will not go and look for the person.
Yes.
So you must continue to have value
Yes.
for somebody to come look for you.
Yes.
And so those wells, they normally just gather around there, especially soldiers who have finished fighting.
Yes.
Now, so the soldiers will gather and be exchanging stories amongst themselves. Now, post-traumatic issues used to happen to soldiers back then. And when they have those kind of issues, listening to this boy that is playing the harp now added value to them, which was why the person now recommended him to Saul and said, sir, when you have this coin and you want to kill somebody, there's a boy that I have that can play this thing and it will suit you. So now music does a bit more than just talent. It pacifies the king.
Yes. Yes.
So for me, if I'm selling a product, or if I want somebody to buy a product, I must name the values. If I tell you I'm going to do January 1st concert,
Yes.
and I have 4 buses
Yes.
that will fly Oshodi to K2, mile 2 to mile 12, K2 to CMS, CMS to Aja. I'll brand all of it, and these buses will run 3 months before the event. If you sponsor, I'll put your name there and people will see the names. And then on the day of the event, the brochure will have your name. We'll show your name on the list. And then when you're walking on the carpet, you begin to see the names of people who sponsored the show. So you're adding value. We can also then say have a stand at the place. So you must give the people value for them to buy into. What happens to a lot of people is that when they have an idea, they give it to the people and they expect. So you are now entitled. You feel like because I have this idea, give it to me. They want to see the benefits. It's the same way somebody wants to employ you, would want to see the benefits that you bring to the organization before they give you the job. So when they then give you this job, what some people will ask for an arm and a leg if they are sponsoring. So the last show that I did, somebody sponsored and gave us 100 million. And I told the person, I said, would you be able to speak for like 2-3 minutes? The man was like, yes. So he jumped at it. And he came on stage, I think he did about like 6 minutes, and people were like, oh, is enough. But he saw that there was value in it because he sold himself to the people. Every time you have the opportunity of making a client see the value, you improve your relationship with the client. Most times, what people think is about money. First, create the value. If the people can then link that value to how much you are asking, they'll pay. It is when they can't link the value to what you are offering that they then say, oh no. And that's when they even cut prices. Like the client we had, the sponsor we had before used to give us 50, 60 when we're doing January 1st. And it is that also, the sponsorship also helps you reduce price of gates.
Yeah.
So if I'm planning a show, I'm paying out of January 1st costs me about like 130, 140 million. And because we buy a car, we give out gifts, we sponsor IVF, we do a lot of all those things. Sponsor entrepreneurs and just now. When I talk to the client and the client sees that those are the things that we want to do, it makes them very happy to be part of the project. But you have to give them value. We brand buses, and when they come to the venue and see the quality of people that are there, they want to be part of it again. When this client, the old client, came and saw what we did for this new client that paid a bit more than they paid, they now say, why didn't you do this for us? And I was like, sir, you didn't pay as much as this client did. So we then did A, B, C, D, above and beyond the call of duty for this person. So it is what they give to you that makes you, okay, just like what Jesus said, it is what comes in. It's not what comes in. That matter is what then goes out. So what comes in may be 3 naira. They will give you value of 8 naira. Next time when we then tell you pay 10 naira, you don't find a problem in it. But when the person sponsors, and it happens a lot, there used to be one bank there, NIB, that used to sponsor stage plays for the Mantijoke back in the days. And they were sponsoring a lot of plays. So when they sponsor, they say 4 days run. So there's a command performance and 3 days public.
Yes.
And after a while, the sponsors then found out that when you pay these people for the 4-day run, once they do command performance, they do one more day and that's all. Yeah. And then when the people then even do it, they don't pay the actors. Yeah. There's a guy's name that's coming that I won't mention it because so the guy did that and NIB caught it. So you're not doing well also then affects other people. Sure. So sponsorship is not just about you, it's about because when you fail to do something, it then affects any other person that is coming. So your business affects other people, even in the creative space.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's a full breadth of what you said. Giving value determines sponsorship. If you give them what they want, they will put in the money. So what's in it for them? It's not just thinking about yourself all the time. What's in it for you? What's in it for them as well? You want to add something?
No, front of house, your mic.
Okay.
Front of house, drop mic.
Front of house, drop my mic. You understand? Okay, is it better? It's still there. Try and improve it. Okay, DJ Gospel, let me go to you. Yeah. This is a business question.
Okay.
Music production and music promotion.
Yeah.
What are the other small things that people can get from it? I'm not a sound engineer.
Okay.
So I'm not technical. I can't produce music, but I want to be involved in that process. I want to make money from that process. What else can I do?
Aside from music production.
Aside from no, I want to make money from you when you are producing the music. Yeah. I want to play a role. What else can I do?
You have to be technical to be part of a production process. Yes, because once you get into the studio, Dr. Noah, he owns a studio. Once you get into the studio environment, it's now a technical thing. Yes, if the only thing that you can add is if you have good ears. He's producing, he plays a chord, and you are like, and then you have to be a DJ. DJs are the best producers in the whole wide world because they have ears for good sound. Yes? And then he plays a chord, and I'm like, I used to do a lot of that for the late Sammy Okposo. Yeah? And I'm like, Sammy, no, not be like that. Do it like this. Sammy, he gets angry and all that, but at the end of the day, we always arrived at a point where we agreed with each other on what should be done. Yes? In that environment, is technical, except you have equipment to sell to them. If you do not have, the music sense, to speak.
Can I make money from just recommending your studio, for instance?
Oh, yes, you can.
So I can get a percentage from that.
Oh, yes. I recommend people to him, and I'm like, okay, go there. He produces jingles. He does this, he does that. I don't collect money anyways because I don't want to cut his own short, yes? Okay. It's just PR on the side. Recommendations. Lots of money come from that. That's a business strategy for some people. Yeah, recommendations. You just know a lot of people. Just know a lot of people that do a lot of things that can bring in money where people would be interested in, like venues, for instance. If I might just leave the production part. Venues, for instance, people come to me and they ask me, Gosparella, we want to do an event. Which venue do you think we should use? The first question is, how many people are you expecting? He tells me I recommend about 5 places. Of course, I have to be the DJ or provide the equipment or something, because I will not just give you advice for free. So.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's excellent. Omoba, let me come to you, sir. There's this question. The question is all around here. You said you are not a celebrity, or you don't want to address yourself as a celebrity. But the questions are, some of you that are in charge of this entertainment industry in Nigeria, you are not accessible. So how can they meet you to sell ideas? Must we always organize a round table for them to ask you questions or to bring ideas to you? Ali Baba says he's an ideas man. There are a lot of us here too who can think, we have ideas. But how do we reach you, really?
Well, I think it's an issue of individual. Obviously, I think it's an issue of the individual, but more than that, it's an issue of the system you put in place. Because the challenge there a lot of times is that you don't, with the kind of systems we put in place, and I'm sure that our senior brother here will agree, you don't need to be talking to us first a lot of times. Because we put in place structure. I'm sure that when Auntie Joke also comes, she will let you know that there are people who work with us that, will not let you know where you need to see us. Because a lot of times when you come with an idea or something, it doesn't mean that the person that we have put in place is going to tell you no. Because a lot of times you can imagine what it means. I run a TV station, and aside from that, I also run a lot of other things apart from having a TV channel. We're building a children's channel as well, and some other things we're doing. So to get my time is tough. I'm on the back end, putting all that out. And I have people who work with me who can sit down with you and have that conversation clearly. You don't need to see me as first person. And if they need, like he's been saying, if you have value and you need to see me, then I'll come to that meeting. But you just don't walk into my office and say you want to see me first. It doesn't work that way. I'm working, I'm doing a lot of back end stuff because you are systems people. If anything happens to you, entire systems collapse. And if you plot the ecosystem we put in place for what we were saying, it's like a TV station now. What are you doing? You're dealing with legal people, you're dealing with content people, you're dealing with engineers, you're dealing with content producers, you're dealing with cameramen. There are like nothing less than 50, 100 people who are having food on their table because of one person. So you don't want to weary that person with every little idea you have. That's why we go out of our way to employ people who can sit down with you and have that conversation with you. When you now bring value to the table and they need to bring us into a conversation, then they bring us into a conversation and then you get what you're looking for. But we should not be the first person you should be looking for.
Thank you very much. Yes, DJ Gosperella.
Let me add to that, yes. Just because you know someone or you know someone that knows this person does not mean you should just walk into the person and start like someone met me at an event just because you know me. We have greeted and all that, and he said, I just released a CD. And I'm like, excuse me? He said, Gosperella, I just released a CD. See, I'm now making you listen to her so you can play it for me. Are you serious right now? I said, okay, I've heard. It said, have the CD. So in his presence, so he will know that I mean it. I took the CD and put it on top of a table and walked out. You don't do that. Yeah? Somebody met me somewhere and he said, Baba, I need you to help me do this stuff. The first question I asked was, do you follow me on any of my social media platforms? And he said, no. You have to give something to get something. If you know get money, the next thing you should do is know how to approach people. First and foremost, there's somebody you want to meet who you know is very important to you. Follow him on social media. When he posts, like it, write messages there, DM him. One day, he will just like, who is this person? And then he reaches out to you. If you do not have any way to meet somebody, you should sow seeds. Throw water in your front so you will walk on wet ground. Don't just because you know somebody. Rome was not built in a day. Yeah, somebody called me and he says, Gosperella, I need you to listen to my song. And I'm like, okay, that's going to cost you like 50K. And he said, just to listen to my song. And I said, yes. He said, and I'm like, what is the about? If the advice I'm going to give to you is not valuable to you, why are you asking me to do it? Why you not ask conductor, make him listen to your music? So you have to put value to people. Access to, you do not just open your door down for everybody to walk in. So before I used to like, okay, fine, you want to talk to me, I don't mind. Somebody even asked me one time, do you even know who you are? I said, yes, I do. Why do you talk to everybody? I said, because I love everybody. He said to me, it's not going to work that way. I never used to block people. Nigerians made me to start blocking people. Yeah? Because the more you block them, the more they hold you in high esteem. Why? I don't know.
All right, thank you. Is that blocking blockchain? Okay, all right. Somebody asked a question. I'm a final year law student who aspires to get into entertainment. who aspires to become an entertainment lawyer, how do I get my spot? I'm a lawyer, so let me help you answer that question. Ebuka was my classmate at law school. We used to sit side by side each other. After law school, he went to do an LLM in the US in entertainment law. So everything he's doing right now, he has picked more knowledge from that area. I went to do corporate and commercial law in my LLM. That's why I'm doing the things I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm in that direction. I love entertainment, but I'm not schooled enough in that area. So your passion should drive what you learn in that area, okay? All right, so that answers that question. So I'm also a panelist too. Clap for me. I answered one question. All right, Ali Baba, let me ask you this question. No, you have done too many things today. This manual that you gave to us has opened our skull. In few minutes, in 30 minutes, you did so much to open this. Now, the first question you answered to from me now, you are not going to explain. You are just going to list on your fingers and your toenails if you have. Just tell me all the businesses that you are involved in. Just be listing them. Just be listing them. Because people introduce Ali Baba as a comedian. Okay? And maybe he was a comedian only. But I want him to debunk that myth right now. Just the list them. Just the list them. Will they count?
You say you're a lawyer. Are you working with FIRS? Because I know.
I'm not in FRS. Nobody in FRS is here. I've checked your profile.
And the major ones will just be that I'm into properties.
Properties, are you hearing?
I'm into oil and gas.
Oil and gas, are you hearing?
I'm into restaurants.
Are you hearing?
I actually just moved my restaurant to London, the patio.
Una de year.
Sorry,
you moved your restaurant to London?
Yeah, we had a place in, we call it a DA, it was on Fallout.
Okay, DA, yeah.
And then the owner of the property decided he wanted to sell. He asked for 500, we offered 350 million, and he said no, that he wanted 500, and we said no. And one person bought, and the person was planning to resell, because as soon as they finished the road, the price will go up, and the person sold. But I don't think that I was ready to give 350 million to anybody. Actually, rent is higher here than the UK. And even in the UK, you don't put cash down. There, if property is worth 350 million, you'll be paying either 20,000 monthly or 30,000 monthly till you can exit the mortgage anytime if you negotiate with them.
I think our topic last year for this roundtable was real estate business. Maybe we should have called you for that too. Okay, you have listed restaurant business. Okay,
so I do restaurant. Yep. I do script writing.
Script writing
for politicians.
For politicians.
I do script writing for politicians. So if you invite like the minister to go speak on any issue, and we can write the script out for him, and he will present it, and it will look like he.
Another year.
Then I ghostwrite.
You ghostwrite.
I'm a ghostwriter for books and biographies. I'm a ghostwriter. I'm a communication expert, because I can come up with adverts. I will write the copies. I can come up with a marketing trend for you and scheme for you to promote any product. I can also work on the analysis of any product, if the product is flying well or if it's not. I consult for philanthropic agencies for better impact. So most times some agencies,
that's free consultancy.
They pay for doing so. So if, for instance, Bill Gates Foundation wants to come in and promote anti-malaria drugs and also,
yes,
we can then consult and say, I think this is where the impact will be most felt.
Cool.
And above all, I have the TV station. I sell ideas, like I said, and I can just say that I make enough.
Okay, can you see? No, I can't take any more questions. Can you see one man being introduced as a comedian in an industry that?
Oh yes, I'm an MC. I'm an MC.
You're an MC as well too. You're an artist manager too. You have some
no,
artists.
and then sometimes these people made an actor from me, but these people don't charge money. Oh.
She will come and say, oh.
They don't charge money. True. All of you, please give this lady and all her colleagues a round of applause. When they called me to come and act in Wedding Party,
yes,
she was one of the first people that I called. I said, they called me to act in Wedding Party. I told her to pay 10 million. She screamed. She said, 10 million. No, they won't pay you that amount. We don't charge that much. I said, why? I said, but you and I have worked as MCs before. You know how much we charge to be MC. She said, that is different. That acting, we are doing, and it's a labor of love, really. So I don't tell people that I'm an actor because there's no money there. I'm a waka pass because there's no money there. What you do, what you charge for a 3-hour job, you won't get it for a 5 days, 7 days, sometimes 2 weeks shoot. So these people just do it to make sure that you are happy, and for them it's a passion that they have. Yeah. Because that's why I don't do movies. So if you want me to do movie, and I'll just do it and take the money that you are giving me, like just an aside. But there's no, so I'm a comedian and MC.
You are not an actor. You're an actor. You do that out of philanthropy, just to donate to the masses.
But the thing is that they have more mileage. That's the other thing that you then look at. If you do one movie, 10 years later, people are still seeing you and going, Meanwhile, they've forgotten the jokes you cracked 4 years ago.
4 weeks ago, actually. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please put your hands together for that. We are gradually rounding up this first panel segment, and I'm going to ask a question. There have been a lot of questions that have to do with knowledge, getting a degree, and all that. So I want to ask Omoba, sir? They say, how does getting a degree relate to your creativity? Is it really important to go to school? Do you have a mileage if you are not a university or polytechnic graduate, sir?
I think that question is very vital, but a university degree has the role it plays, especially because of where everything is going. Knowledge is key. But we also agree that there's a lot of role mentoring, hands-on also gives you. Everybody who is a practitioner in Nigeria will tell you that Nigeria is a different kettle of fish entirely. It's a different ballgame. And so, with whatever knowledge you have to add that hands-on knowledge. That if you don't move close to those who are at the center of the conversation, you will not get how it goes. So, I would say this to you: go and get the knowledge, the university degree, the training, whatever it is. I mean, there are many of our practitioners now who are opening schools, who are doing master classes. Please go. It shows you are serious, because there are things they will teach you there that, like Gospela was saying initially, when you do those kind of things and you now approach people like maybe Auntie Joken Silva for an opportunity to just intern her and stuff like that, then she can take you serious. You know, but a lot in the Nigerian context, in what I've learned, the internship does a lot more for you. So if you have the head knowledge and you are not volunteering and you are not having mentors who can sit you down, walk you around it, what you have might not see you through. So in my observation, you have to have both the knowledge and then the internship, or you go and volunteer, or whichever way you can bring yourself under the service of somebody who has gone ahead of you. It will really, 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 really go a long way at the end of the day, because whatever education you have, really, let's even talk about education basically, it just teaches you how to interface with life. It gives you basic social skills of what we call terms of engagement. So once you have that, there's no way you will not use it in what you're doing and the things that you need to be able to do. That's how I would look at it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to ask DJ Gosporella this question, if you can wrap it up in 45 seconds or 1 minute because of our time. It says, It's a yes or no question, but I want you to just put a little context to it. I think there was Obi-Wan. I don't know where Obi-Wan is right now. Is he still very active? Okay, I'm using him as an example for this question, and there are quite a number of them. He says, is it truly possible to combine a corporate job with a career in entertainment?
Yes.
Okay, just a small context. Yes,
Very
is a clear answer.
Yeah,
yes.
very, very. I just said it before. I tell the young DJs that I mentor that when you are growing in the business, just being a DJ only cannot pay your bills. Get a job on the side. It's either another job or you get another craft that you know you can do. And just get it on the side so that you can make some extra money while you are pursuing your purpose of DJing. You know, it's a very good thing that you
Thank you very much. This should be my last question for Ali Baba. This skit making became very popular, especially during COVID. After COVID, I mean, we were not having content. People were using their phones to record things at home, use CapCut, InShot, YouVersion, just edit and share. And they were getting mileage, and people were advertising on their platforms and all that. But we noticed that most of the people that do skits are the Brother Shaggies, the MC Macaroni, the Lasisi Elenu, more of upcoming. At the time, they are established now, bro, from skit making. But the people like Ali Baba, Basoj, Gandoki, I Go Die, you people don't really do skits. Are you allergic to skits?
So we don't do skits. We provide the content for people who do skits.
Okay.
So if you go take Night of 1,000 Laughs and watch like from volume 1 to volume 25, you will begin to see a lot more of those skits that are out there now. For instance, I did a joke in 1988 when I went to Warri. My grandmother told me that the NEPA staff came with police to arrest some boys. And I said, what happened? He said, one guy came to cut the light. And when he was cutting the light, the boys in the neighborhood came with cutlass and everything and told him, when you finish cutting, come down. And the guy now said, no, that he came to tighten this thing. So he finished, came down and left. But now, there are about like 4 or 5 skits that I've seen of somebody that is climbing to cut the light, and they bring dog and tell the guy, when you finish, you come down. Then another one, the guy was there, and this was the Yoruba guy. He did his own skit, and he was waiting with all this jazz, and told the guy that anything you cut there, I will cut in your life. You know, and so it's like a remix. So you also see it with songs. Whitney Houston too did a remix, and so there are a lot of people who do that. It doesn't take away from the fact that they are creative, and there are some originals. There's some original. There are a lot of them who do originals, but there's some who take the idea and then push it. So for me, they're doing their beat. It is like a musician. There's somebody who is doing reggae. There's somebody who is doing jazz. Somebody who's doing calypso. Somebody who's doing R&B. Some people do choral songs. But all of us are singing. It's just a platform that is different. And in the group that we belong to, when we worked with for the creative industry, we call them comedy in a sachet. It's comedy in a sachet, and it's easily consumable. You don't need to have a stage or have this one. Once you have a phone, you can consume it. It is the same way that Cowbell came and disrupted the market. Peak Milk they were selling it in cans. You must buy the big cup or buy the tin, the small tin. And then these people came and started doing it in small sachets. And people were buying it because people needed just 10 naira, 5 naira. Now, to enjoy most of our comedies, you have to be invited to an event or be at that event. But they now made the comedy in a sachet in a way that you can be in Kaduna and benefit from it online. And so they made it available to everybody. So people and the numbers are huge. Just like when you have a TV station, like STV, and you're showing terrestrial. If you're showing in Lagos, at most, only 2 million people have access to watch you. Right? But of those 2 million, you're not going to get 2 million people watching at the same time. So you probably will get about, in the share of the market, channels will have about 120,000 people watching. Another person will have AIT, will have this one, will have this one. But if you go online, you can have 50 million people watch because you've gone global instead of being limited to the. So what they are doing is they are capitalizing on, they are honing in on the opportunities that social media provide to provide this sachet comedy to them, and people are taking it up. That's all. And there's no stress at all. We applaud them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The screen before me says time is up, but something just came. I just want to do something, and with the permission of the organizer, please, I'm apologizing to you. No, you don't know what I want to do. It's something bad, but it's good. Our friend who would have been here today, he would have been here today, and he would have been at the technical stand, is Dave Sound. He was a member of this church. He was the guy who was brutally murdered by some Okada riders last year at Admiralty Way. The 1 year anniversary is on May 12th, which is just 11 days from now. We may not have this crowd on May 12th. I just want from the bottom of our hearts to just maintain 15 seconds, 20, 30 seconds of silence if we rise, just in his honor. May the soul of our brother David Sunday Imo rest in peace. Amen. All right, please put your hands together for the panelists. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll take a picture. We'll take a picture before we close. Yes, please. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a 15-minute break, or 10 minutes actually, 10-minute break. There are vendors outside, so you can catch coffee like this road. You can catch a snack. You can do something, network quickly for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we reconvene. And then immediately we come back having on stage for the next session. Okay, so please just do that quickly, and in 10 minutes, please start coming back into the hall. God bless you. Hello. For security reasons, please hold on to your personal items. Keep everything that you brought close to yourself. There must be no complaints here today. Thank you.
would make